Mac&Phil. I suppose the first question is, tell us a bit about your work. I'm a big fan of your work, but tell us.
Thank you.
Give people in the room an idea of who you worked with and where you're coming from and how you got into this.
Take it away. So yeah, we
who's Mac and who's Phil?
I'm Mac. This is Phil.
He's actually Matt, industry secret, but someone decided to call him Mac, and now he is Mac.
Yeah. We actually went to school together. We made music throughout school together, and we were in a band with Island for like 3.5 years. And we did the whole artist route first, and we were in the band for 3 years, and then realized it wasn't viable, and we basically split up, got dropped from the band, and then we realized, why don't we just start writing for other people, basically? And yeah, we got together. I mean, we were with each other through school, but started the writing after the band, basically. Yeah, that was when we started making music together, I guess. Like 18?
Yeah, 18. But I think, like, you're no stranger to this, but whenever you have a session with people, you like to get coffee beforehand, and you like to chat a bit of shit and hang out. And
about people or just... Oh, okay.
About your own lives. And then you're trying to get to know each other, and the more you're able to like be comfortable in getting to know each other and relax into like a friendly environment, the more honest your music can be. So with Matt and I, we had that for 4 years before we even started doing music. So I think that was like another reason why we worked so well together. It's because I think him and I are just separate parts of the same brain. But the 4 years that we had to hang out were like, it kind of solidified what we both want from music and from life.
So the assumption is that many in the room might not actually have been in a session and written a song for someone else. So based on that assumption, just explain to us, what does a songwriting session look like for you guys? Okay, you met with an artist. The artist might have been sent to you by publisher or management. How do you go about choosing who you work with? What happens from the minute they get off the train? You guys are in Swindon now, near Swindon, in the middle of nowhere. Fantastic. What happens from the minute you meet them off the train or at the train station? What's the process? What does a day look like in like 4 minutes? Go.
I feel like the first 3 hours is just not music. It's just us getting to know them. Like we exclusively don't write music straight away. I feel like every time we've done that, like the song has just been a throwaway. It's not been like a great song. So we actually make sure that we go get food, we hang out, like we just take 3 hours to...
Sounds like hard work.
It ain't easy.
Yeah,
great.
It's terrible. But yeah, we really just take time to get to know each other, and we just chat. Yeah, chat shit about whatever's going on. And you find that the more you talk, the easier that song comes by the end. You talk about so much shit that's going on in your life that by the time you like, cool, let's write a song, it's like, well, we've kind of got everything we need for that song. So yeah, I think most of the easiest sessions we've had have been from when we've just chatted for like 3-4 hours, done a song in maybe like an hour, and it's just happened. Most songs just happen. You don't realize they happen.
Sure. So fast forward this after the chat now to the actual pen to paper or being in the room. What happens? Who does what? Creatively, obviously, one of you is probably going to have to, I don't know, figure out the attention with the artist, keeping them involved in the session. Attention-wise, someone's going to have to be in front of a computer. What happens?
It's really not like, annoyingly, there's no logic behind it. It's really very much we're hanging out, talking. We all express truths about us that we might be embarrassed about, but the more honest we can be, the better. Then you find that, like Matt said...
Did either of you study counselling? No?
Okay. No. But you definitely do get, it is, like you say, it's extremely therapeutic. The whole process of just like, you're not trying to be pragmatic, you're not trying to be logical, you're just trying to be a friend to someone and you're just trying to open up and hear them when they speak. Because if you're a creative, chances are you're extremely sensitive and you're extremely in need of someone to talk to. So then they express their truth for a few hours.
You're sounding like you're talking about yourself. I can't lie.
It's just me. Yeah. I'm just like, yo,
Just call it out
can we just
right
talk
now.
about my feelings? So then, yeah, and then basically the concept is there. They've said shit that's the verse. They've said shit that's the pre. They've said the main chorus.
Great.
And now all we have to do is just like make a bit of music. And obviously we both switch roles quite regularly.
Yeah.
If I was being honest, Matt makes shit sound good.
Great.
I don't do that.
Okay. Okay.
I play a lot of shit. But like if you were to be like, yo, I need this mix done.
Okay.
Talk to Matt.
Cool.
But then I'm very much like just dancing around, hanging out, talking about my feelings.
Great.
And
Phil makes it very comfortable for anyone.
Great.
You can kind of see that already. It's out there. You're cool. You can say whatever you need to say.
yeah,
Doesn't have to respond to that.
yeah. But that's the thing as well. And this is, if anyone is writing songs or wants to write songs, I think this is such an important part of the process. In order to make someone feel comfortable, you have to, if they're not down to do it straight away, you have to reveal something about yourself that is relatively embarrassing. So they're like, wow, that guy is fucked up. No matter what I say now, I'm not as weird as that guy. And then they're just down to express their truth.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
Wow. I mean, I feel like this conversation's escalated quite a bit just in that one. I mean, okay, so here's the thing, right? And I suppose this is where this will kind of connect with a lot of the people in the room. I'm talking like you're not here. You are here. I'm just, go with me, okay? So what happens when the person you're doing a session with is not good? As in, is this being recorded, yeah? We can, okay, cool. So they can't hold a note and they are not good songwriters and they don't know how to do the session thing. And then you've got to spend a day doing what you do with them, investing your time into this artist, and then you've got to send that song an email with the splits to your publisher, management, their management. How?
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess
So just for context, people in this room, some of these people are the people who receive that song in an office,
for sure.
haven't been in a session, don't know the vibes, and they're sitting there and they're going, "What's this crap?"
Yeah, why is it so shit?
Yeah. So
We just don't send it, I don't think.
oh really? Okay.
I think producers have a bad name anyway, as to not send stuff out. If it doesn't get sent out, it's probably not good. It's hard to like put your foot down and like say that, but if a song's not great, you don't want to send it out, really. So it's kind of hard to gauge that, right? I guess in that scenario, yeah, we try our best on our front to do what we can with the song. If they're just genuinely not good, like I feel like we just wouldn't send it. Or we'd send it and just say it's a really rough demo. Let us know what your people think.
A rough demo.
Yeah, rough demo.
The rough demo.
That's the email title.
Great.
Rough demo, make sure it says that, and then it's all good.
Great. I suppose, again, just going down this road a little bit more, when you're dealing with people who might not have been in the studio context and been in the creative process with you all, how do you process feedback? And maybe, again, connecting the dots for those in the room, how would you want feedback concerning a song and the creative and getting the best out of a creative session?
I feel like direct feedback is the best.
Oh, so it's crap.
So many people
do it again.
Genuinely, like I'd rather that than be like, oh yeah, like it's cool, it feels good, but like just maybe try something else on it. I'd rather be like the verse sounds absolute dog shit. Just like do something else. Yeah. I'd be like, cool. That's actually really easy to digest for us. I think people are quite ambiguous with it. Sure. Yeah, for us, I think if it's direct, it's so much easier for us to transform a song.
What do you do with when someone goes, okay, let's say, for argument's sake, let's say Burna Boy, who's an Afrobeats artist, is killing it, or I don't know, Answer Phone by Ella Air. You sent a song with an artist, done your thing, and then an A&R comes back to you and goes, yeah, you know that record, Answer Phone by Ella Air? I love that record, you know. Do you reckon you could maybe just put a spin on it somehow? And what'd you do with that?
Chances are, if you don't like the record, we're not going to work on it again.
Okay.
Like, it's one of those vibes where we can all tell, like, everyone can tell if it's good or if it's got potential. But, like, if you like this part but not that part, I would rather just come and write another song. Because, like, there's always going to be little parts that are quite all right. But at the same time, I just feel like the essence of the day, the song should encapsulate everything. And I think that we're not, I speak for myself. No, fuck it. I speak for both of us. But like we just don't like the whole like, oh, like that this could be good. Yeah. Like, nah, let's just, if we like the session, we can write another song and we'll get it. But I'm not into the whole meticulously trying to how do you say, like, polish a turd?
Sure.
Yeah.
We've had someone come back and say, we love the song, but we don't like the chorus.
Yeah. How does that? Yeah, okay.
You don't like the song?
Yeah.
The song.
Yeah.
We'll write a new one, it's fine, but like the chorus is a big part. Like,
Quite often is, yeah.
So like the song's
Quite
clearly
often.
not good. Like it's cool to say you don't like the song, but like, yeah, we'd do a new session. I feel like if you don't like the chorus, it's kind of done, right?
Sure. How do you, as songwriters, how do you navigate just the demand and the rate of work? Yeah, a rate of high quality work which industry requires, and protecting the creative process. How do you? Because obviously, when you send it to someone's team or publisher or or whatever, you're exposing your creative card. You're exposing what's been vulnerable conversationally. You're exposing time invested. How do you navigate ticking boxes for that person on that team, as well as developing business relationship, as well as protecting the creative process? Soz.
We just don't think as much as potentially we should.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's just one of those vibes where like we've just done this for so many years now. Together we've been producing like 5 years. At the beginning we took anything and everything that we could get, and now our manager's very good at like that slight bit of emotional manipulation. It's like, oh, well, they could be amazing one day. And it's like, oh, fuck it. You got us. We'll do another session. Cool. I don't know if that answered any of your question.
Yeah, I get it.
But at the same time, we aspire to tell the truth and be vulnerable as often as we can. But sometimes you just want to write a song where it's just like very shallow. And we might not necessarily be that proud of that song, but if you go so deep so often, it really does take a toll on you. Yeah. So sometimes it's nice to just hang out and dance.
And dance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Big fan of dancing.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
In sessions?
100%.
Fantastic.
If I'm dancing, like...
It's vibes.
It's a vibe. Even if it's a ballad. Like.
Oh, yeah?
So if we ever have a session, I've heard, you guys must have heard Jake Isaac's music. It's insane.
I paid him to say that.
Yeah. Jamie, this man touches me, and it's not like upbeat. It's very soulful. And I'm dancing. Like, I'm literally like.
Wow.
But that's fine. Like, that amount of dancing is cool. It doesn't matter about tempo.
Bro, you're different, you know.
I'm just cool. But yeah, respect. I love what you do. Safe.
Great. Last question for me. I'm not sure how we're doing for time. Are we? Cool. So I'm probably going to open up the floor. Is that all right? Great. You guys have obviously worked with Chainsmokers, Emily Sandé. Emily's a massive fan of her work in particular. So when you've done well, how do you manage the pressure to consistently do well creatively?
I feel like once you've done a few good things, for me personally, I felt like it's easier to just forget about any pressures of that and just do what we do best. Because I feel like we've the Chainsmokers, the stuff we did with the Chainsmokers happened after a gig of theirs. We went out and we met them afterwards. We all got pretty drunk and we went back to our studio at like 3 a.m. and just wrote a song. And it was probably the easiest song we've ever had cut, right?
Yeah, I was asleep on the sofa, so it's certainly the easiest for me.
It's one of the easy. It's one of the easiest.
Really
songs
easy. Yeah. Okay.
I barely remember it, to be honest with you. It was like so easy, and I feel like the sort of height of that, the pressure that comes with like, oh wow, like imagine if we wrote a Chainsmokers song, but like to see how easy it actually was, I feel like that kind of lessens how much pressure it can be to get a song with the Chainsmokers. It doesn't need to be that hard. And same with Emily as well. We signed our first publishing deal to Emily like 4 years ago. And we've just been writing with her since. And I feel like a lot of the songs we've done have just come from being with her. We wrote our house for like 2 weeks. We got like most of the second album with her, just like so unpressured. And I feel like it's, once you've done that, it's kind of easy. Not easy. I'm not getting cuts every day, so it's hard, but that takes the pressure away from it, I think. When you're like an aspiring songwriter, it's actually way harder because you've not got in that door yet. I feel like it's easy once you're in that door. But
Had you guys, obviously, what's in the charts at the moment, what's on playlists at the moment, it's constantly evolving. So, I mean, when I was growing up, every tune felt like an R&B tune with a bit of Hispanic in it. Like, you know, does anyone know, you know, the R&B tunes like Cisco and, is that, oh, okay. Yeah, we're old. And then you had like, ding, 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 like everything was like Bangor vibe, ding, 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 it's like full on, you know? That was really bad, sorry. And then after that, and now we're kind of like in the Afrobeats thing. Everything is an Afrobeats thing. Like everybody is doing, people with no rhythm are doing Afrobeats records. Like it's ridiculous. How do you navigate that as a songwriter? How do you navigate an evolving playlist, an evolving chart, as a songwriter, stylistically, with the different artists that you're working with?
I actually read a quote from David Bowie. He said once, never play to the gallery. And that means stop trying to please audiences with what you think they want.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, we've never been concerned with what's good right now. It could have potentially been better for us if we were. But at the same time, I just feel like it's all about just finding that thing within us all, that childlike sense of awe with the world. Genre doesn't matter. Sonics, I would argue, don't even matter that much. It's just like every single one of us was a child once, and if you can touch that inside of someone else, then everything else is irrelevant. Like, just be honest and be true and say something that's real, and then everything will take care of itself. Like, Ed Sheeran's not changing genre. He's not going Afrobeat. Adele's not going Afrobeat. All the people that are going, like, trying to stick to the times, fair play, you might get some P now, but it's not going to be...
P is money, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You might get money now, but it's not sustainable. Like, if you're trying to be a legend, or if you're trying to at least, like, have this level of pure artistry, everything else is irrelevant. Like, be who you are.
You're, I feel like as songwriters, I feel like I'm just talking to two oracles right now. You guys are pretty deep.
Bless your heart.
And so I suppose, wow. I suppose the next question for me is, where do you get your inspiration from? So I understand that the conversations happen, there's dialogue before sessions, etc. But this feels like your inspiration doesn't just come in a day session. You're out looking, or your eyes are open, your radars are up, looking for inspiration. You know, where would you say that comes from, majority-wise, for you guys?
I feel like when we were in school, we met in school. There was a group of like 5 of us there. There's a guy here as well, Kane, another artist called Plested, and we were all in school together, and we were like the guys that just loved music. and we were also really emotional guys as well, which I feel like's not the norm, but like we were really
You just don't talk about it. You don't talk about it, right?
but we were
It's
so
fucked up that you don't talk about it.
crazy. We were so open with our feelings at like 15, and we would like fully talk it out at like
Sit in a
15-year-old
circle.
kids.
Oh,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
how are
sit in
you,
a
bro?
circle. Yeah,
Like, good job, well done. You look sick
we
today.
really cared,
Wow.
and I feel like that gave us so much open mind. Like our minds are so open to that level of like getting deep with someone.
Yeah.
And I feel like we stuck with that since. That's something we had. I feel like you brought that into our group of friends. Your dad was very spiritual and like opened us all out to that. And I feel like it came from there, right?
Yeah, I guess we just, as musicians, as creatives, you have to be sensitive. Like, I don't know where it's coming from, and I'm not going to make claims that it's coming from God or the source, although that may be my belief. But I do believe that there's no original thought from a human being. I don't believe. I think ideas are living organisms in themselves, and human beings that may be potentially classed as genius or special are just open to receiving those ideas.
This guy's deep, huh? Yeah.
And like Matt said, man, like our friendship group was based purely out of love. Yeah. Like when everyone else, especially boys, which I find a shame that they like very much thrive on putting each other down. But we just had a close group of people that were just like, yo, how are you doing? Like, you're sick. And if you work hard, you could change the world. Like, you could really do something special. And I think we're all a product of our environment. And I think no matter how strong your will is, it's your environment that shapes you. I've heard that you're a combination of the 5 people you hang out with most. And our group is 5. And we're just lifting each other up. And we're all doing, same industry, same manager. Our manager, who's the 5th person, was in our year when we were 14 years old. He was like, I'm going to manage you boys one day. And we were like, yeah, all right, mate. But lo and behold, he manages that boy right there, Kin.
Come on.
Mac&Phil, Plested. And it's all about your environment. Get rid of negativity, even if it's your mum.
Wow.
It's deep.
Yeah, whoa.
It's deep, Jake.
Come back.
I'm sorry. Okay, maybe like your uncle or something. No, I'm serious. It's simply about it, like being around positivity, because when you're trying to be around negativity, you're doing it because you're assuming, or you're trying to paint the picture that you're a saint that's helping someone out, but you're not helping them out. You're going down. You're not lifting them up by holding their hand. You could do it over an extended period of time, but eventually you have to, and it sounds selfish, but I would rather call it self-loving. You have to make sure that you are happy and you are good. Because if you're not happy, you can't make anyone else happy. So essentially, the most beneficial thing you could do for every single one around you is to be good yourself. And then you can bring other people up.
Where's the bar? Okay, so why don't we open up the floor and just, does anyone have any questions? And just, come on, girl. Do you want to say your name as well, seeing as it's been recorded? That'd be great.
Of course. Hello. Was there a particular breaking point for you guys that you can pinpoint when you went from like aspiring songwriters and taking whatever you could get to being in rooms with the Chainsmokers and Emily Sandé, or was it like more of like a culmination of a bunch of different things?
I feel like when we were starting out, there was a time when we were asked to do a remix production for Naughty Boy, and it was one of the first things we'd ever produced, and we did it, and he was so excited by it, and like put it out the next week, and we were like, oh, amazing, like we're amazing at this, like we should just do this, right?
We are
Yeah,
amazing.
we're like really good, right? And then for like the next year and a half, we got nothing. But it was that like one instance of luck or whatever that was that showed us to keep going on that path. I feel like that happens in so many walks of life, and you just get that little essence of like you're doing something right. And I think that was probably the moment, right? That it kind of clicked in our head. We're like, cool, we're on the right path. Let's keep going. And yeah, I think that just, again, the positivity just brought that in as well, I think.
No, it's okay. No, I was going to say from Mike, because we're recording. That'd be cool. Yeah.
So in that year and a half that you were like, okay, yeah, we're good at this. What did you do in that year and a half to make it, to make it a career? Basically, when it was happening.
We thought we were doing the exact same thing. So we were like, why is it not working? It was kind of crazy to us. We thought we were doing everything right. So I don't know what we did differently, really.
I think it's that idea, it's a crazy sick idea, which I believe is true, is that beginner's luck is the universe telling you that if you try really hard for a very long time, you could be successful.
A very long time.
Right? Okay. And it was literally just like that. The first thing we did, we were not good. We were shit. But for some weird reason, the universe told us, if you try hard throughout this year and a half / 10, 20 years, one day you will be good. And it was tough, man. Like, we were literally scraping money together to buy weed. It was hard. It was so tough, man. Thank God our parents were so hospitable to us, because we didn't have to pay rent.
That's great.
But yeah, it's tough. But genuinely, being in a group of people, even when you're down low, sounds weird, but even when you're like not necessarily prospering, it's the people, it's the company you keep. Like, whenever I felt shit, he lifted me up, and likewise.
This is good. More questions. Oh, there we go. Ladies first.
It sounds like you have a lot of self-belief and self-confidence. I work with a lot of composers and writers, and sometimes there's writer's block or imposter syndrome, all of the other number of names that you can think of for lack of confidence. How do you deal with that?
I feel like that's genuinely, like, imposter syndrome is something I get every day, I think. I'm like, how am I still here? When are they going to find out that I'm really not good at my job? But I think having people around you that just make you realize you're doing something right is really handy. I mean, the fact that we're in a duo is great, because if I'm having a bad day, Phil can hopefully pick up the pieces. If we're both having a bad day, then fuck knows, I don't know what to do. But yeah, I think every creative gets that a lot. I think it's not that abnormal to get that. I think having all the creatives around you, I think someone said in the previous speech about talking to artists and being on the same sort of like wavelength as other artists, and I think that's really important because everyone feels it. So it would be nice to know that you're sort of in a community of people that have sort of similar thoughts, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Validation as well is important. You look after them, right? Yeah, it's very, very important. Not to necessarily massage their ego. So don't choose things that you don't believe in. Like, if you really appreciate something about them, make sure they know that. And maybe also things that they weren't even expecting you to say. Let's say they're a really good pianist, but like they don't think they're that strong on harmonics. Like, comment on the harmonics. If you like it, of course. Don't be fake about it, but like, I personally feel like I need a lot of validation.
I would never.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Like, that's nice.
That's great. Sorry, there's a question just here.
Hello, thank you for this. There's a panel earlier on talking about whether the mode of listening to music, streaming, is affecting how music's written. And there was talk about the idea of banging the hooks up front, not having a long go in, don't want to get skipped. You seem, like you say, quite confident and willing to stand up for yourselves, but have you seen that pressure? Have you had that feedback ever of like, because of how it's going to be listened to, can you change it? Can you adapt? Should it be this way or that way?
I feel like we probably get that with every song we send out right now. Like, literally, like, cut the intro, just get straight into it. Let's, like, I want to hear it in 30 seconds. I don't want to stop in 30 seconds kind of thing. And I think that happens pretty much every song that we're doing now. and it's hard to get away from that. So you kind of have to adapt to that, but at the same time, try and keep some integrity to it. And to be honest, I don't know how. I actually don't know how. Do you know how? I have no idea. You just do what feels right to you. I think that's what we've always tried to do, is just to stay honest to what we believe is actually amazing. And if it works, it works. I mean, it's probably not worked 97% of the time. Most of the songs we've made haven't come out. Yeah. So maybe we did something wrong, I don't know. But yeah, I think you just have to stay true to you, but I guess listen to what needs to be done as well, because there is a streaming sort of culture as well. So I guess trying to play to that while keeping it what you know, I guess.
Yeah, I agree there, and I feel like it's something that it really doesn't have to be a pragmatic. I don't think that we should focus on theory too much. I think that if we listen to shit, then we'll naturally start implementing it. So yeah, we're big fans of like going hard and like making the point realize relatively quickly. But I think, like we said with the streaming services, it's like as soon as you start thinking logistically about creativity, you're just never going to get anywhere good. Like that's absolutely all I have to say.
So that being said, how do you then cross, because you're working with people who they are seeing things very logistically, logically, very straight. This is on streaming, on a playlist. What works is don't bore us, get to the chorus. Those things work. How do you then talk that language? How do you tick those boxes and help the people that are working for you and with you to get the song exposed?
I feel like a lot of the music I listen to now is actually just pop, just to get my brain into that sort of area. There's a guy on Instagram called Top 40 Theory, who breaks down all the biggest pop songs, and he's a musical like genius, and he breaks all these songs down and like puts it into, I guess, a digestible way of seeing pop songs. And a lot of the time he says people don't realize they're writing these pop songs, but it's so ingrained in them now that like all these same tricks and stuff happen. And I feel like we're probably at a stage now where we've done it so many times that we have all these go-to things that you do. Like we always cut the second verse in half if you're doing a pop song. That's like a classic thing to do. Like I don't know why, but it's just like just get to it. And we like a chorus will hit in, I guess if you're in certain tempos and stuff, a chorus will hit in like a minute or 45 seconds.
Yeah, 40 seconds is a nice.
And I feel like even though we don't try to do that now, but like we've done the pop thing for like 4 years now. And it just happens. I don't think we even think about it now, but even if we're not trying to do a pop song, it will just happen. So I feel like you surround yourself with people. If you listen to pop music all the time or all those kind of things, those things will just get into your everyday like habits.
I'm aware that we've got some creatives in the room, as in songwriters, artists, etc. So just something a bit more direct for them. What would you guys kind of in middle land between industry and the artist. You guys help connect those dots. What would your advice be to another songwriter or another artist, just in terms of creative strategy or perseverance? What would your statements, like we've got like a few minutes, so just give us.
You better ask.
Be nice. I think that's bottom line. Yeah. We don't want to work with people who aren't nice people. Yeah. I think that's such a vital thing that I don't think people these days get it. I think back in the day, I hear stories of people being like arseholes in sessions and stuff, but I don't think it really happens these days, but it's so vital. Yeah. If you're a nice person, I want to hang out with you. And the majority of our sessions aren't writing music, it's hanging out. So I think that's a big part of getting into the right rooms, I think.
And regarding songwriting as well, it's simply just time. Like there will be nothing in the world that will ever beat persistence and passion, hard work, discipline. Like that's just it. Like if you're a songwriter and you want to get in the room, the opportunity will come when you start believing it will, but you want to be prepared. So instead of doing anything like, I don't know, Netflix or YouTube, like if you're working and then like on the
You're asking me to close my Netflix account right now.
Bro, I'm on it as well, but at the same time, like I really do know for a fact that you can't tell me you're dedicated to music if you're just chilling a lot of the time. Like just write a song. Write a song.
This guy sleeps in sessions. Can we do we oh, no. I hear you.
That's totally. It. It's like nothing will beat dedication, discipline, perseverance, and naturally being a good person.
And then to those who are helping the songs win, helping us as creators win, who are trying to get behind good artists, what would you say to them in this room? What would your, again, as the middleman between an artist and those who are in industry, what would your thing be? I'm really just trying to be politically correct here, you know. What would your thing be to them, industry-wise? Like, what would your advice be? Your encouragement be?
I guess just be open.
To what?
Just to any sort of style, and there's so many musicians that maybe don't have a direction, and the direction maybe comes with production, and maybe people haven't met the right people to like get their direction. I guess like people have written great songs, but maybe they need an end product that will help their song get released. I guess that's one route, I guess, but to maybe be open to hearing a song not just on a piano or on just a guitar, to hear it in many other ways, I guess.
Great. Well, I think that's it. Has that been helpful? Great. Can we give him a round of applause? Wicked.